Good afternoon and welcome to News Track, coming to you live from our Rayfield studio. My name is Modesty Nianglong. The presidency has announced that public submissions on the proposed national policing bill will close by 5 p.m. on Thursday, August 13, 2026, urging Nigerians to submit their views on the planned establishment of state police. The Chief of Staff to the President and Chairman of the Presidential Working Group on the National Policing Bill, Femi Gbajabiamila, disclosed this on Wednesday, saying the consultation was designed to incorporate the experiences and professional expertise of Nigerians into the proposed legislation. He said the submissions would be particularly useful in addressing concerns over political interference, oversight, police misconduct, and intelligence sharing between federal and state police services. He said the consultation would not replace the role of the National Assembly, which would retain the power to scrutinize, amend, reject, or pass the bill when transmitted. Claims emerged. Gbajabiamila urged Nigerians to contribute to the process, particularly on how police services could be protected from political interference, who should investigate serious misconduct, and how federal and state forces could share intelligence across state boundaries. The Plateau State Executive Council has approved the establishment of the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Reduction to strengthen government support for vulnerable citizens and align humanitarian interventions with the federal government's initiatives. Plateau State's Commissioner of Information, Joyce Ramnap, disclosed this shortly after the State Executive Council meeting presided over virtually by Governor Caleb Mutfwang from the government's house, Little Rayfield, Jos. Our correspondent has details.
According to the Commissioner of Information and Communication, Joyce Ramnap, the new ministry is expected to incorporate the activities of the State Emergency Management Agency SEMA as part of strategy to strengthen humanitarian response and poverty reduction programs across the state.
The State Emergency Management Agency will function directly under this new ministry, and there will be a trauma management center that will also function in this new ministry as a way of having a direct impact on the people and the citizens of.
Ramnap said council also approved the renovation of the administrative building of the Jos Main Market as well as the satellite market to improve their operations and ensure they function more effectively.
The job will be done with direct labor through the Ministry of Commerce and Industry. So it's to give that the carbon market a facelift, and to be able to give to create areas where they could function more efficiently.
The council also approved additional procurement and installation of solar-powered streetlight and high-definition closed-circuit television cameras (CCTV), as well as the maintenance of existing streetlights across the Jos Bukuru metropolis. With the approval, a total of 4,029 units of streetlight infrastructure are to be covered, while 199 CCTV cameras will be procured and installed in 2 phases to enhance security and surveillance within the metropolis.
Phase 1, there are actually about 15 communities that have been earmarked for this project, and amongst them is the Gangare and Terminus Road that will be part of it. Shinko Road Network will also be in the new in the phase 1. Mado Community and Tudunwada, about 2.5 kilometers of areas within Mado and Tudunwada will also be captured with the solar lighting pumps. The University of Jos Network, Fusawa Community, then NIPS community as well will be captured in the phase 1 of this project. Rantia is also listed in the first phase, and then for the second phase we have Yelwan Zangam Road Network, which is about 3 kilometers with about 125 new solar lamps and cameras in that area. Bauchi Road Network is also part of the second phase. Ali Kazaure Road Network is part of that. Apata is part of the second phase. Jenta Adamu, Jenta Makeri, Holshe Community roads are amongst those areas that will be captured in the light.
The meeting was attended by the Plateau State Deputy Governor Josephine Pio alongside members of the State Executive Council. In Jos, Dashik Simon.
Speaker of the Plateau State House of Assembly, Nan Long Daniel, has called on staff of the Assembly to make effective use of research to strengthen their legislative skills. The Speaker made the call while declaring open a 2-day capacity building workshop organized for staff of the Assembly. Our House of Assembly correspondent has details.
The workshop tagged Closing the Artificial Intelligence Gap for Legislative Excellence is aimed at equipping participants with the knowledge and skills required to effectively support legislative processes. Declaring the workshop open, Speaker Nan Long Daniel said the training was designed to build the capacity of staff to effectively implement the policies and programs of the 10th Assembly. He appreciated the staff for maintaining a cordial working relationship with the legislature, noting that their commitment contributes to effective representation.
And so for us to catch up with the world, we must unlearn to learn. We must begin to give space for information that will build our life itself. Because AI has come to stay. Either you follow it, or the gap between you and the world will be so wide.
Chairman, Plateau State House of Assembly Commission, Livinus Kwafan, said the workshop would equip participants with the necessary skills to respond effectively to emerging global challenges.
Everything is going digital, and we needed to really equip our staffs for the challenges so that they will also improve in their discharge of duty as staffs of the Plateau State House of Assembly.
Jackson Bature and Mercy Gokir are participants who appreciated the Speaker for providing the opportunity to enhance their knowledge. It's been Simi Cholon.
Faith leaders, government officials, and civil society organizations have called for greater collaboration across religious lines to drive national transformation and human capacity development in Nigeria. This came to light at a one-day interfaith leadership summit held at Isa El Buba Foundation Complex, Jos. Correspondent Simon Swatka has the details as presented in our studio.
Organized by the Isa El Buba Foundation in collaboration with the Christian Aid, the summit brought together Christians, Muslims, civil society organizations, and government officials under one roof to discuss solutions to Nigeria's socio-economic and moral challenges. With the theme, the role of faith in national transformation and human capacity development.
If you know anything about the recent past in Plateau State, unfortunately, Plateau has been subjected to a series of violent conflicts and all of that threatens the fabric of society. So the agency was set up to rebuild peace.
Founder of the foundation, Prophet Isa El Buba, while addressing the gathering, urged Nigerians to embrace unity to achieve national transformation.
And when you change people's perspective, they behave differently. And so one of the things that we've seen is the level of ignorance. And so because of the ignorance, people are pumped with the wrong doctrines. And so that manipulates their mindset. So with what has happened here, you're going to see a lot of collaborations. And you can see that Muslims and Christians and people of other faith have sat down together to eat together. No conflict, no argument.
Executive Director of the foundation, Deborah El Buba, commended Christian Aid for their support towards the success of the summit.
We know that in the future there will be more and more collaborations, and we want to say thank you for not being biased to just sponsoring only Christian organizations. Thank you so much for.
She called on government at all levels to partner with faith-based organizations to address poverty, insecurity, and value reorientation in the country. Speaking in interviews, some participants commended the Isa El Buba Foundation for convening the summit, describing it as timely and necessary for building bridges across divides. The event featured paper presentations by scholars from the academia and religious bodies.
The rising cost of food has become a major concern for many families as the prices of everyday staples continue to change. In this report, our correspondent who visited the JMDB market, Bukuru, takes a look at the current prices of tuber and root crops and how the changes affect both buyers and sellers. The report.
In most Nigerian families, tubers and rooted crops are more than just food. They are a regular part of the daily menu. However, the cost of living continues to rise, with prices of food items, particularly tubers and rooted crops, making many families to spend more. A market survey in Bukuru Market shows that the prices of tubers and rooted crops vary depending on their type, size, and quantity. Patience Davo and Helen James speak on the prices of potatoes and cassava and the corresponding quantity consumers get for their money.
You see, Irish potatoes now, it's supposed to be cheaper, but it's a little bit expensive because of due to the sickness that entered. By now, we would have been buying bag of potatoes for 25,000 or 20,000 at least. If it is expensive, 25,000. But if it is not, you can get it 25, 20,000. But now we are buying it at 40 something, even 50 something.
It's really down and it's not that easy. We are selling it like that one. We sell it 48, 50. This one we sell 40, 42. Right, this one we sell 32. Because it's small inside.
The survey reveals that a tuber of new yam currently sells for between 1,000 and 3,000 depending on its size, while a bag of cocoyam goes for about 22,000. Martina Izang and Hilda Chizoba tells us more about this.
Bags, we used to sell it, last year we sell it 30,000, 28, but now we are selling it 23, 22.
Those ones they used to count in 100 pieces. Those ones, 100 pieces should be at the rate of 65, 150, depends on the size range.
But what is driving these prices? Traders point to several factors, including blight and dews. Carrots, however, offer some relief this season, with a bag selling between 20 to 35,000 naira against 50,000 sold last year. With improved agricultural support, better transportation networks, and efforts to reduce the cost of rooted crops and tubers will be affordable for every home. In Jos, I am Deborah John.
Nigeria has failed the minimum fiscal transparency requirements for the second consecutive year, with the U.S. Department of State saying the country made no significant progress in improving its financial management and opening up its public finances in 2025. In its 2026 Fiscal Transparency Report released Tuesday, the department accessed 139 governments and the Palestinian Authority, with only 73 meeting the minimum standards. Of the 67 that did not, 14 made significant progress, while 53, including Nigeria, were marked as making no progress. The report came against the backdrop of complaints of poor implementation of the nation's budget by Nigerians, especially as the present administration is running 3 budgets, 2024, 2025 and 2026 simultaneously. According to the State Department, the assessment was based on information gathered by the U.S. Embassy in Abuja, other federal agencies, international organizations, and civil society groups between January 1st and December 31st, 2025. The presidency, in a swift reaction last night, said transparency, accountability, and effective public financial management remained important priorities of the federal government, but the U.S. report delivered a damning verdict on Nigeria's budget process, saying the national budget remained vague on both government revenue and expenditures. The recent outbreak of the African swine fever has left many pig farmers devastated as they count their huge losses. Our correspondent visited some piggeries in Jos, the Plateau State capital, for a first-hand assessment of the unfortunate situation and also find out efforts being made to maximize the outbreak. The report.
On arrival to some separate farms in Kwata, Dahwak, Kuru and Kuru Trade Center in Jos South local government area, the unfortunate African swine fever has left a trail of business setbacks with losses being counted in millions. Some affected farmers, Rose Mankam, Jonathan Pojok, expressed displeasure over the economic setback recorded.
I started this farm way back 2019, but I've never encountered the outbreak of swine fever, so it came like a surprise to me, watching the animals just going away, and it was very, very devastating actually.
I lost everything. Luckily, I had to slaughter to put them in deep freezers because I have an outlet where I also sell. But I deeply and profoundly sympathize with the other farmers.
Other farmers interviewed, to include Fagus Palm and Stephen Daliop, described the situation as terrible. Nelson Goshit, a pig farmer residing at Loraku along Domkadbali Road, however, says he has consistently implemented biosecurity measures on his farm, which assisted in protecting his pigs from the disease.
No, not everybody enters there. It's only my son. I don't even enter there. It's only my son. And he has some shoes that he uses to enter there. Not everybody enters. Even the person who came the other time to give them injection, he had to. They had to put his shoes in.
Commenting on the outbreak, a lecturer in the Department of Veterinary Medicine, University of Jos, Dr. Essien Unanam, explained that the African swine fever is a highly contagious viral disease that affects domestic pigs and wild boar based on immune response of the animal.
The farm should be strictly only for workers, and they should not allow stray dogs, cats, and other animals. Because some of these pigs that have ASF, if they are being kept, the carcass and dogs can go and eat, and they will now come to your farm. So the transmission cycle is quite enormous.
Dr. Unanam elaborates on safety and prevention measures that could mitigate such outbreaks, considering the untold hardship being faced by pig farmers as a result of the disease outbreak. There is the need to adhere strictly to established measures to avert reoccurrence of such setbacks. In Jos, Nerot Rang.
The Christian Association of Nigeria, Ganawuri District, says criminality should be attributed only to offenders and not generalized to an ethnic, religious, or pastoralist community. The association stated this in a statement signed by its chairman, Reverend Samuel Dock, while reacting to the alleged killing and carting away of weapons of 2 security personnel attached to Tamborong community, Ganawuri. The incident, the association says, must be viewed against the background of the persistent challenge of banditry, kidnapping, and other forms of criminality that have affected communities in Ganawuri Riyom local government area and Plateau State over the years, with the Tamborong Gidang Ado, the Chaidanwal axis has particularly experienced security challenges that have disrupted livelihoods and created fear among residents. Commiserating with families, colleagues, and institutions of the deceased personnel, the Christian body called for a thorough evidence-based investigation to unravel the perpetrators, their sponsors, and collaborators in order to bring them to justice. While it says it is not seeking to preempt the investigation or exonerate anyone who may have participated in the crime, CAN emphasized the need for caution during the investigation process to avoid victimization of innocent citizens, particularly as 10 young people are replaced to have been arrested from the affected communities. The Christian Association of Nigeria, Ganawuri District, also advocated for a strengthened intelligence gathering, community engagement, and collaboration with traditional, religious, and community leaders to enhance peace and stability within the location. And now to the foreign scene. The current outbreak of Ebola in the Democratic Republic of Congo is on track to surpass the deadliest outbreak of the disease, the Director General of the World Health Organization has said. Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus told reporters that the 2026 outbreak at its current pace would eclipse that of 2014 to 2016 occurrence, which killed at least 11,000 people. The outbreak this year, declared on 15th May, has seen at least 4,300 cases and caused more than 2,000 deaths. The WHO said on Wednesday it hoped to reverse the spread of the disease within 3 months, but warned that this meant bringing transmission under control, not ending the outbreak entirely. That epidemic was only officially declared in May, but it is believed that the outbreak began at least 3 months before then, health officials said this week. He cited research showing that the virus started spreading in February and was initially misdiagnosed as malaria or typhoid. The 2026 outbreak is caused by the rare Bundibugyo species of Ebola, which has previously caused only 2 known outbreaks, in 2007 and 2012. And that's the size of our package on News Track this afternoon. Stay tuned for global news at 6:30 p.m. and news updates at 10 p.m. Good afternoon.